in here is so dope. Let's see what's up for breakfast.
Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Doc. What's for breakfast?
Nothing, unfortunately. It seems that due to how busy things have been over the past few days, we've neglected to do any groceries, and now the fridge is empty.
Aw, man, that sucks. Shall we go grab some groceries now?
We could, but actually I'm rather hungry now, so I was thinking to go out and grab some breakfast in one of the cafes in the area. Care to join me? We can have our session there for a change.
I like the sound of that. Let's go. Thanks so much for paying for my coffee and croissant.
It's my pleasure, Austin. I always enjoy our conversations ever so much.
Thanks, Doc. So, do you come here often?
Yes, I like to come here a lot, especially when I want to have a moment to contemplate and think about things.
Think about things?
Yes, I'm writing a book about the causes and effects of depression.
So, are you writing about Jacqueline and me?
No, I don't write about any of my patients in my books. Or better said, I don't mention any specifics. That would be very immoral of me.
Pity. Here I thought that I would become famous because of your book.
You don't want that type of fame?
Fame can be pretty useful if one can bank on it and make lots of money. I can be known as Dr. Langston's Madman. How do you like the sound of that?
That sounds awful. A bit like a Dr. Frankenstein's monster. How about this? If they ever turn the book into a movie, I'll ask the producers to cast you into the lead role.
What kind of thing is that? Yeah, I'll take it. That should launch my Hollywood career.
Have you ever thought about being an actor?
Well, I know I'm handsome, and I know that is one of the big factors behind being a successful actor.
It is undoubtedly a big factor, but acting skill is still more important. Have you ever considered going to acting school?
Not seriously. Like, sometimes when I watch a B-movie on sci-fi, I see that some of the actors aren't so talented, and then I think to myself, I sure as hell could do a better job.
I know what you mean. Actually, science fiction and fantasy is quite challenging for an actor. You really have to convince people that the made-up world you exist in is real. That's why they get great Shakespearean thespians for great roles like Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Sir Alec Guinness as Old Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Sir Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
They're all knighted.
Precisely, that is the caliber of actor needed for these difficult roles.
I'm impressed. I didn't know you knew this much about pop culture.
Oh, I have to, Austin. Jacqueline is neither my first nor my only celebrity client. I've also done therapy for a lot of football players back in England.
Really? Those guys need therapy? I mean, they just kick a ball around for a living. That's a dream job.
It is undoubtedly an extremely privileged position to have, but it does come with a lot of pressure and responsibility, particularly if you play for the national team or for the very popular club. Sometimes the pressure gets to them and they seek therapy to help them work through these issues.
Hey, I noticed you aren't asking me any psychiatrist questions. Or are you analyzing my reaction to the things we're talking about?
No, I figured it would be nice to have a normal conversation for once. I know I can be a bit intense when we have our sessions, so I figured it would be nice to ease things a bit by going and getting a coffee together.
Okay then. So like, do people always think that you're psychoanalyzing them even though you're just trying to have a normal conversation?
You have no idea how bloody often that happens. I often find that new non-patient acquaintances put up a bit of a wall when we talk, as they think that I'm taking apart every word they utter.
That sucks.
Oddly enough, every now and then I get a character that thinks that every thought or dream they have had has some deep and complex meaning behind it and decides to share everything about it with me.
Those can be really, really awkward. These people are trying to get free therapy.
Tell me about it. Oh, look at how the time has passed. We should start heading back. It'll be time for Jacqueline's first session of the day soon. Shall we?
Lead the way, Doc.
Hey guys!
Hello there, Natalie. You seem rather chipper.
Brilliant news, guys! Jacqueline has decided to resume her tour. Whatever you guys did worked fantastically.
That is fantastic to hear.
What happened?
I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't really care. All I know is that when she came down from her room this morning, she said she felt like her depression had passed and she was ready to go back on tour.
What a turnaround, huh? Where is she?
Well, we decided that she might as well hit the ground running. So I booked on the first flight available to Des Moines so that she could make her concert there this evening.
And she's left already?
Yes, she texted me not 10 minutes ago and told me she'd boarded her flight.
She left without saying goodbye.
Oh, don't look so glum, Austin. I'm sure she'll call tonight to tell us how her concert went.
So, that's it then. We're done.
Yes! Mission accomplished, lads. I'll book you both flights to go home tomorrow.
That's good to hear. I'll start packing up my stuff.
I guess I should start packing too. Can't believe Jacqueline left without saying goodbye. That was a really fast day. I noticed there was no phone call. Aw man, I was so tired from packing up that I passed out super early. It's not like I even had that much to pack. Had I known that this trip was going to be so short, I wouldn't have bothered unpacking. Here I thought I'd be living the sweet life for a couple of weeks. Oh well, time to head back to my normal life.
Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Doc. Where's Natalie?
Her flight to Des Moines was very early this morning. Didn't she tell you?
No?
You seem disappointed.
Would have been nice to say goodbye to Natalie and Jacqueline. They both just disappeared.
Feels a bit anticlimactic, hmm?
A bit. I mean, I know the past few days hardly constitute an adventure, but I felt like I was part of something. Now with the mission accomplished, it feels so weird that Natalie and Jacqueline just up and left.
You feel like there should be a celebration?
Something along the lines.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's just not how it works, mate. You and I were hired for a job and we succeeded. We got paid, end of story. No festivals or parades in our honor. On that subject, it turns out Jacqueline left a note behind for you. Natalie found it in Jacqueline's room as she was packing her stuff away and asked me to give it to you.
Thanks.
Also, here's the check from Natalie. I believe she left you a little note inside as well.
Thanks.
So, Natalie's asked us to pack up our stuff and leave by 3 p.m. this afternoon. The cleaning crew will be around by then.
Cool. So what's next for you?
Back to England for me. I think I'll probably take my family out for a nice vacation with that fat check that Natalie paid me.
How much did she pay you?
I'd rather not say.
I'm guessing a whole load more than me.
Well, I am the professional psychiatrist.
Fair enough.
How about you? What's next for you?
I think this little adventure has really put things into perspective for me. I really want to get my life in order. I'm going to get my classes set up for the next 2 semesters and try to graduate by next year. With the money that Natalie paid me, I should be able to study the whole year without having to take up a part-time job.
I am so glad to hear that.
It's largely thanks to you, Doc. Those sessions we had really helped me get my mind focused on my life and what was working and what wasn't.
I'm so glad to have been of service.
Doc, would you mind if we had one last session? I just feel so unfulfilled after all this, and I have so many questions. Natalie and Jacqueline leaving just like that just makes me feel weirdly empty. I don't really know why. I'll pay if I have to. What do you say?
I'm nearly done packing up, so that should be fine. Don't worry about paying me, Austin. This has been quite an emotional journey for you, and you deserve a debrief of sorts to help you have some closure of a lot of the emotions you must be going through right now.
Thanks, Doc.
Meet me in my office in 30 minutes.
Sure.
Hello, Austin. I take it you're all packed up.
Pretty much.
Have a seat then. So, you said you had some questions for me.
Yeah, I have a few.
Fire away then, Austin.
So did everything go as you planned?
What do you mean?
You had me summon to help Jacqueline back on her feet and performing again. She's back on tour, so clearly something worked. What was my part in all this?
Ah, yes. Well, as Natalie probably mentioned to you when she first hired you, your name came up quite often during her free association exercises.
Free association exercises?
Yes, that's a technique we therapists use to try and unravel what thoughts and emotions are being bottled up in the subconscious of our patients. We have them blank their minds and say the first word that comes to mind when we say certain words.
I think I've heard of this.
I'm sure you have.
So then my name came up a lot.
Yes.
So again, what was my part in all this?
Well, I initially realized that Jacqueline was having nervous breakdowns prior to concerts due to the fact that she was associating concerts with a lot of the negative aspects of her fame that were troubling her. In her mind, they were becoming one and the same.
Oh,
Through the exercises in our sessions, I realized that she was deeply unhappy with her current life and seemed to be very nostalgic of her high school days, where her love of music was initially born. Now you see where you fit in?
I think so. Please continue.
I realized that during her last and most crucial years of high school, where she was really enjoying performing the most, she spent more time with you than anyone else. So I figured if I reintroduce you into her life, then a lot of these forgotten emotions would resurface, and that she would remember why she got into this industry in the first place.
I see. So you think it worked?
I'm sure it has. Her love of music and public performance was never false. I just think that a lot of the toxic elements about fame came to cloud her vision for a while. You were brought along to remind her about it.
I feel a bit used, though. Couldn't you have let me in on it?
I'm afraid not. We wanted it all to be as natural as possible. Hence we really had to keep you out of a loop for certain things. I hope you understand.
Well, I do now, I guess.
Does that give you more closure?
A little bit.
I can know something much larger is bothering you.
It's Jacqueline.
What about Jacqueline is bothering you?
Over the past few days, we've been reconnecting and stuff, and through it all, I got the impression that our old feelings for each other were resurfacing. Like, I kinda got the impression that she was flirting with me and stuff.
Oh, and did anything happen?
Well, no.
How does that make you feel?
That nothing happened? Frankly, it made me feel really disappointed and empty. I really thought we had something going on again.
Do you feel like she played with your emotions?
Honestly? Yes.
You have to understand that you never really stood a chance, mate.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
You two are going through very different life stages and have very different situations. Honestly speaking, your life has no real direction right now, and hers is full of direction. So much so that her going out of motion costs millions of dollars and makes people like Natalie move mountains to get her going along again. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm just trying to give you a bit of a perspective as to why a relationship between you and Jacqueline would be inherently toxic and would benefit neither of you. I'm not saying she's too good for you at all. All I'm saying is that I don't believe a relationship between you two would work in your current respective positions.
I understand.
I'm glad you do. Frankly, I don't believe that a relationship is the best thing for you right now. I mean, you just ended things with Kelly anyway, and really you should be focusing on finding yourself and finding your direction in life.
I guess you're right.
Was there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Not really. I think Jacqueline was the main thing for me. I mean, I kind of feel a bit used too, but I somehow feel that I wouldn't feel this so strongly if Jacqueline and I had gotten back together.
You weren't used, Austin. Natalie made it clear from the start that this was a business arrangement. Didn't you feel like you were paid appropriately?
I do, but I still feel like I was a pawn in this giant chess game.
I think you hit the mark earlier with your comment about Jacqueline. Had you gotten together, you wouldn't be feeling so used right now. But since you didn't get the prize that you wanted, you are displacing the disappointment you are feeling towards Natalie, Jacqueline, myself, and dare say, the entire music industry.
That's deep stuff, Doc. Real deep.
You could say that. Anyway, I have to get going as my flight leaves in a few hours. Will you be okay?
I think I'll be fine.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Austin. I wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors.
Thanks, Doc. I really enjoyed our conversations in the therapy sessions. I have a much more positive outlook towards my future, despite the disappointment behind not getting with Jacqueline.
I'm very happy to hear that, Austin. Goodbye.
So relaxing here with the beautiful view and the soothing background music. May as well take advantage and read the note that Jacqueline left me. Who knows? Maybe it might have a love declaration from her inside. Dear Austin, thank you so much for spending the past few days with me here. I've been feeling so lost and lonely, and just having you around was so comforting for me. I'm so lucky to have a friend like you around, and you really are like a brother to me. Sorry I didn't have time to say goodbye in person, as I had to rush to my flight to Des Moines yesterday to make it in time for my concert there. I have a concert in Charlotte in a couple months, and I'll try to swing by and see you and Mad Mike. Kisses, Jackie. What a disappointing note. Let's see what Natalie has to say. Austin. Jolly good job getting Jacqueline back on her feet, included as a check for 12,000 proms to you. Good luck with your studies, Natalie. Well, looks like it's time for me to go back home. With that, I returned to college and was able to enter on a full load for the next semester. In that year, I was able to raise my GPA a whole point and finally graduate from college. I soon found a teaching job in a nearby town and have been happy since. Jacqueline didn't come and visit after her concert in Charlotte. I do still think about her a lot and do stop and watch whenever she appears on television, and have bought her last few albums. No matter what, I'm glad that I went and spent those days in that mansion, as it changed my life for the better, and got me out of the rut that I was in. Now I walk positively forward with a strong sense of purpose that I had never had in my life before. Rockin' all over the world unlocked. So in case you're wondering, yes, that's one of the endings.
Here with you, I know we'll be strong. Here with you, it's so magical. Find the way. I know you can fly. Be with me in this paradise. Search your heart. I know you'll be fine. Find the way to your happiness. Swim through the clouds above. Wells will guide you there. Life to the sun and stars. Fly with me. Fly with me. Here with you, I know we'll be strong. Here with you, it's so magical. Find the way. I know you can fly. Be with me in this paradise.
So there you have it. That was Fix Me, Fix You. So Austin got his life back on track, Jackie went back to the music industry, and everyone lived happily ever after, right? And maybe someday, just someday, there'll be a way to reunite the two. But until then, you can only imagine, right? I'm the hero of light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.